LULAC, the Latino organization that fights for the rights of Latinos, is bringing awareness to what is going on in those ICE detention centers. Check it out.
Here's your reminder that the U.S. has a very real shadow labor system. Immigrants in for-profit detention centers are doing forced labor for real companies, earning $1 a day to produce food and products we see every day, while being forced to pay $5 for a single phone call home. What most people don't realize is that the labor happening inside these facilities doesn't stay inside. The vegetables people eat, the textiles used in hotels and hospitals, and the sanitation and food service work that supports national supply chains, all of that is tied to the workers detained in these centers. Their labor is being consumed by the general public without the public ever seeing their faces or knowing the conditions behind the products, very much like for-profit state prisons.
So you heard her basically say there that the illegal immigrants are being forced to work for free or $1 a day in some cases. Not only are they forced to work within the facilities, they're forced to do labor for outside organizations while being profitable and all of that. And that they have to pay $5 for phone calls and all that other stuff. And they're basically saying it's not right. And guess what? I agree with you. But guess what else wasn't right? When my people, right, on those plantations during slavery were forced to do the same thing. However, it was a lot worse and they didn't get paid anything, right? They were forced to breed against their will. They were forced to be in those fields, sun up to sundown, picking rice, cotton, tobacco, and whatever else was out there. They got their babies snatched away from them, never to see them again. And their husbands and wives were taken, never to see them again. And a whole host of other things that I could be here forever talking about. Which is why we as descendants always say, hey, we want our 40 acres and a mule. The things that was promised to our ancestors once slavery ended, that they never got and we never got, which we are demanding. But the other problem is a lot of people, especially Latinos, they'll often say, well, y'all don't deserve reparations. Our slavery is so long ago and that's our tax dollars too. But there y'all are crying about what they doing to y'all people in those detention facilities. Now, listen, I know it's not all Latinos, but it's probably mostly at this point. And you're raising awareness. Yes, that sucks. But we've been raising awareness too and say, hey, that's something that has been done. And if you go to the prison system anywhere in America, you'll see mostly disproportionately rather Black Americans in there. And ain't nobody hollering and crying about the forced labor that they have to participate in, because those prisoners too, they have to do work for outside organizations and companies and things like that. And they don't get a lot of money either. But see, now that it's happening to y'all people, now you're like, oh, it's not right. But the other thing is too, your people coming over here by their own free will. They coming over here, and let's keep it a buck, illegally, and they know that. And then when they get gaffled up, and listen, I'm not saying I agree with how they're being treated in there, don't mistake me in that, but they come over here knowing those things, and then they get caught up, and now it's like, oh, they're forcing you to do A, B, C, and D. But that's why it would behoove people to study history. You know, you coming over here to a country when the oppressor is, been oppressing everybody, but you come over here. Now, listen, I know the Biden administration, especially last administration, was like, hey, come over here, this, that, and the other. But then when Trump was coming into office, him and Tom Homan, they said, hey, we gonna be doing mass deportations, and yet people still stayed here. And so now you're crying about what they're being forced to do. So I say this. Anytime y'all want to talk about Black and brown and all that, because I always say when they talk about Black and brown unity, it usually means the Black helping the brown, never the brown helping the Black. But when y'all rattle that out of your mouth, you remember the next time that Black Americans are asking for reparations, y'all get in line lockstep and say, yes, get Black Americans reparations. And then we might think about coming to the y'all aid and saying something for y'all. Right. And we also know that the leaders of your organization, LULAC, has always been instrumental in saying, we're not trying to align with the Negro. Let him fight his own battle, right? Now, I know in that particular video, you weren't asking, I don't think, for our help, but you're surely trying to raise awareness. Well, we always try to raise awareness too. And a lot of times in y'all community, y'all shoulder shrug. That has nothing to do with us, because a lot y'all like to align with white supremacy. And now that white supremacy is saying, hey, we don't like y'all either get in those detention facilities and do this work. Now y'all want to say, oh my God, it's horrible. And it is. It's all horrible. So anyway, y'all let me know what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra Kaye Show, here on YouTube. Peace.